Well, tigil ka mix.
All right, guys.
Well, Maruni.
So, guys, welcome back to Cebuano Hoops Live. We're your daily dose of anything basketball here in Cebu. All right. So tonight, since tomorrow pa man ang balik ang NBA game, so tomorrow's like game one of the finals. So tonight, we're gonna talk about non NBA related. Since we've discussed the finals yesterday, we really had like a good show yesterday about like the NBA finals. So karon, participate yapon mo. Give us your comments, give us your thoughts about what we're gonna be talking about. Okay. So karon, ang among storyaan is about the PBA bubble. All right. So yeah, inana mi ka diehard sa basketball. We watch the NBA, we watch the PBA, we watch collegiate basketball, both Philippines and overseas, and maski MPBL. We actually watch it. Okay, so let's start off by me introducing the guys I'm actually with tonight. So to start with the guy on my right, all right, I'm senior citizen na mo dire, si Kuya Jerry Buckets. Kuya,
Hello everyone. Yeah, good evening kaninyong tanan, especially to our avid viewers here in Cebu Hoops Live. Good evening, brother Mark, brother Migs, and brother JQ. Musta naman mo? I'm sorry guys. I was not here yesterday. Busy ko sa akong guesting. Yesterday I was in First Things First. So sorry you guys, I missed the show yesterday. So yeah, this is Jerry Buckets calling it as I saw it. No hate, just facts. All right.
Okay,
All
so
right. Good evening.
all right, so next is the guy below me from Ormoc. All right, Migs, maing gabi eh. How's things there?
Hey guys. Okay lang. Hello Ormoc. Hello Metro. And to our listeners sa Neville Hills, Espina Village, sa Iloilo, thank you again, Nene. Guys, with everything that's happening in the world right now, Gangig Samok, just watch basketball on TV, and then at night, tune in to Cebuano Hoops Live. This is a family show. Bring your kids. Guys, good evening.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, and last but not the
Wholesome.
yes, sir. Last but not the least, ang amuang pangbato sa mga baby girls. Dire Pikas. JQ, Jeff, how are you, man? How are you tonight?
Hey! Hey, coming from the godfather of the pambato ng baby girls. I don't know my tricks from him, but hey, so Migs touched on it, man. I'm all good. If there's anything that we could really use in the world right now, it's definitely the perfect distraction. And what better distraction than hoops? Cebuano Hoops Live is your go-to show for anything basketball and hoops related. Hey, Mark touched on it too. We don't just watch the NBA, the PBA, NCAA, UAAP, Panalay Basketball, E-League, Shaba, you name it, we watch it. We follow these guys, man. We know these things. Sasafi, you name it. I mean, we know these things, bro, on the real. So, hey, Cebuano Hoops Live, we're ready to take off. Let's go.
All right. So first things first, all right. I just would wanna like ask Kuya day. Wa man siya diri gahapon. Kuya, naka-recover na ka sa kapildihan sa Boston or
No, I'm for. As you can see, my name is Jerry Bucket, so I'm for the Heat. Go Heat, Miami. Let's beat the Lakers. The Lakers. Yeah, let's go Heat. Let's go Heat.
wa man gyud ka gahapon dire before we go to the PBA bubble. We just wanna get insight. Asa ka molaban ugma? Unsay imo ang thoughts sa finals? Just a short one before we go to PBA bubble.
All right, thank you for that, Marky Mark. Yeah, as you can see, I'm for the Heat, so I'm
Mhm.
for the Eastern Conference champions. I would like to see a really good matchup here between AD and Bam Bam Adebayo. I hope they can, really defend the Lakers with their zone because listed kay ang zone sa zone ng mga Lakers because AD can really play in the middle with the
True.
zone and
Yeah.
he can also drop it I mean sa Luyo na sila dako sintro pwede na i-lob ni Howard or ni McGee. So it's difficult or he can actually shoot it in the middle near the free throw line. So it's difficult. I don't know how Eric Spoelstra will figure this out, but I know he will. So I'm hoping they can grab the game one to take the advantage para di sila maglisod og pass. And I hope their shooters, the Drip Brothers,
The
will
drip bro.
actually, yeah, explode tomorrow. Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero. I hope Jimmy Butler will lead them, to victory for game one.
All
So
right.
yeah, that's what I'm seeing for tomorrow. Good,
Okay.
I just want to see a really good finals here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Kuan, before we also forget, I think we discussed it like a few days ago regarding us kanang kitay naghatag sa murag natay moniker sa Kunai Splash Brothers ang Golden State Warriors. Jaff actually came up with a good name for the two white guys sa Miami. What do you call them, Jaff?
Hey, shout out to the Drip Brothers, Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero.
Oh yeah, oh
That's
We
what
yeah.
coined
I'm
that
saying,
term,
bro.
baby.
That's
The
what I'm
Drip
saying.
Brothers.
The Drip
Yeah,
You
Brothers.
heard it
baby.
here first. Cebuano
Heard it here
Hoops
first.
Live. Mm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
now I'm
sir.
gonna make a graphic of that sometime soon.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's do it,
I'm
man.
gonna
The Drip Brothers. Here we go.
I'm gonna send that sa I don't know kung actually there's this guy if you watch AM Hoops kadang kwansa na siya journalist na siya sa US nga
Yeah.
nasa siya vlog. I'm gonna tell him about this kay ni-appeal man ko siyang Patreon sayang kanang murag top level fan ko aniya. So appeal ko ato nga group. So I'm gonna tell him about this Drip Brother moniker that we came up with.
This
All right?
concept. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Do it.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir. So let's go ahead and talk about the PBA bubble. I mean, I guess mura siya nalimtan ang PBA for the longest time mainly because walay news. I mean, wala gi kanang way kisaw gid sila ba. It's basically just some players vlogging what they did at home during quarantine and all. Pero nikalit lang, last month there were like talks. What am I going to expect? Or did you guys even expect that this would really happen? But I'm really happy that they're really going to be doing this. They're finally doing this. And yeah, looking forward na murag walay problema nga masud sa walay problema sa process because how many teams did the NBA bring sa bubble gani? 22? 23?
22.
22.
22. All right. So
22.
right now,
Yeah.
the PBA has like what 10 teams, 12. I think they've got like 10, most likely,
I
right?
think 10.
Probably.
I think currently
Probably 10.
10.
Not.
Yeah, yeah,
Not sure. Yeah. Probably 10.
yeah. So 10 teams with 15 players each. So that's like what 150 players inside the bubble. So hopefully, wala lang like ma-positive nila or whatsoever. All right. So I'll start with you, Migs. In regards to like the PBA bubble, what do you expect, or just give us like an overview towards your like being a PBA fan and all, and what are you expecting
Yeah.
from the PBA bubble?
Well, for me personally, it's a love-hate relationship with the PBA because it started off with me being such a big fan, and I never missed games. Labi na if Alaska ang duwa, no. But then, and I think you guys would agree with me. Kana eventually it felt a bit inauthentic na ang Mauban games. It didn't feel
100 hectares
real how the other games went. So, and then to tell you honestly, I was really looking forward to the All Filipino because among the three conferences, actually the All Filipino for me ang pinaka-competitive because more or less even ratanan we get to see kanang players who would otherwise be benched tungod kinay import, no, they'd be able to play. So I was really looking forward to the All Filipino Cup. And then I was really surprised nga dayon nila ang bubble, no. I never thought nga we had the PBA had the capability to organize or to mobilize kanina resources to create a bubble. And plus the other thing, it's the economic factor ba. Kanang it's different from the NBA nga, okay, they're in a bubble, there's no fans, but they're still making money off of the TV deals, no, off of sponsorships. And people still kanang they rewarded kanang ilang mga season ticket holders. I didn't know how the PBA did that. Ngari? I don't know how they're making money off this. How much, I don't know if kanang profit bagid kani or just ilala lang yung gitiwas, no? At least nasa lang gamay. But then yeah, it's exciting. You know, any basketball is good basketball right now. Kanang mo lagi ng Filipinos need this. I think Filipinos want to see their PBA idols play finally. And it's exciting. Ako lang yung comment sa PBA Bubble, no. I think it's weird na single round robin lang ang elimination games. Yeah, single round robin because if you think that's why, if you compare it to the NBA, no, that's why 22 teams ila, because the more teams, the more games, the more TV time, the more money. So I just don't get the sense why single round robin lang. Nindot na to at least a double round robin. Everyone gets to play twice. Okay, mas ulit ba on TV, mas dagan tag makita nga games. And maybe the PBA could make more money. But otherwise, I'm just really excited. I hope they're all in shape so that we get to see kanang really good quality games.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, ang ako lang sa Daya, before I forget, you actually mentioned, Migs, nga, muraga you said nga, continue, because as far as I'm concerned, usara magita ka game ang naduwa agad atong March. I think it was March 8, San Miguel and I think it was Magnolia, right? San Miguel actually won. So, I also, same time, Migs, I really don't understand what the purpose of the PBA is. Regarding ani, okay, kay then again, the NBA, as what you've mentioned, nagkuan sila. The main reason why they did the bubble is because kanang TV rights or kanang pagkuan sa TV, di ba? But this time around, I mean, the NBA also has like sponsors. They do have like katong mga nila dire. Every time murag i-declare nga ilang home court, the sticker of their sponsor is being placed sa court, di ba? This time around sa PBA, I mean, I don't understand. Like, sakto ka, like if they're after the TV coverage, how come single round robin, di ba? And then the point here is that kanang mother company biya what biya gid sila ilaing sponsor aside from their mother company. So I really don't understand why they're doing this. Probably I don't know if PBA could recuperate from what they are gonna be spending on this. All right, but hopefully, I mean, they won't do something if gets la ka kwarta. So they might really like daagitingan ini kwarta somewhere. All right. So ikaw kuya, ikaw ako sunod i-ask regarding this. Like Miggy actually mentioned siya Alaska yung team sa PBA. Ako Hinebra ko, by the way. Ikaw kuya, what team are you rooting for and what do you think about the PBA bubble?
Well, first of all, I think the PBA bubble, balik ang PBA, it's really good for especially dudes like us who love to play basketball, who love the sport of basketball. Because as we all know, year 2020 is really a bad year for all of us. Not only those who really love the sport, but everybody. So with the NBA bubble, now the PBA bubble, at least we have natay pangpawala sa stress ba of what is really happening on the world right now. Not only here in the Philippines, but the whole world. So this is a really good news for all, especially basketball fans. So especially who loves to katong mga ganahan mo duwag basketball and who loves to see their local heroes play again basketball professionally. So it's really good news. And your second question is about the single round robin or
unsa po imong team gina-root for sa PBA?
Oh yeah, the team. I'm originally ko Pure Foods ko sila Alvin Patrimonio. Wala. Ay, nagdula pa ba sila si Kwan? Box Adornado. Terry Saldana,
Champion foot!
Ano yung sila
Abet
nito?
Caben, Ibis
Ana.
Nicolice. Napa ba sila?
Champion
Victor
foot!
Calma.
Ay,
Wala
pwede.
na sila? Yes,
Uy,
sorry,
Rudy
sorry, sorry.
Distrito, brother.
Ah,
mga,
Rudy Distrito.
mga patch na
Kira
ni
na
Rudy
nga na nga,
Distrito.
no?
Actually, I patterned my game to Rudy Distrito.
tayo.
The
I'm
joke.
scared.
No. Just kidding, guys.
Hindi na ako magdadaan na ako
Um,
makikduha ni mo kaya
actually,
dala.
wala naman
Wala ni
nag-follow dyan
distrito
sa
ka.
kwan. Wala na yung nag-follow sa PBA kayo kay kanang gidubinit kay sa San Miguel mag-boring wala na kuan gani parity
Oh,
sa
yeah.
competition.
Okay.
Pero I'm rooting for of
Mm.
course Junmar Fardo because he's a local hero here especially in Pinamungahan, Cebu. Shout out to all the people in Pinamungahan. So yeah, I'm just rooting for Junmar Fardo. And before him, of course, Don Don and Tiberos. I haven't used. I already contacted Don Don. Huwag lang ko sa reply. I'll send a screenshot sa group chat na to later.
Let's
So
go.
I hope guys na nasa time so that we can have here Mr. Cebuano Hotshot, Don Don, Hontiveros sa
All right.
Cebu Hopes Live. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. All right.
Yes, sir. So, ikaw, Jeff, who's
Hmm.
your PBA team and what are you like expecting from the bubble?
So, myself, and Miggy, we kind of share the same. Well, the same feelings for the PBA. It's really like a love hate relationship because when I started getting into the PBA and I started watching it as well, I was so excited. I started following the PBA, I think, during the Powerade era with Gary David, JV Kasha, and Marshall
Mm.
Lassiter. That was such a fun time in the PBA. But over the course of time, there's just been so many issues and so many problems with the PBA, with all the stuff on the side with the players making shady deals and whatnot. But this whole bubble thing, and when it rushed me, and when I got it on the news, it struck me more as like a gimmick. To be honest, I don't think there's so. If we're talking about revenue and we're talking about making money, I mean, I got news that the PBA, out of their own pocket, the PBA as an association is spending over 65 million pesos just to kickstart this whole bubble. I'm
Mhm.
confused. Where are we? If you're the PBA, where are you making money back? That's number one. Number two, is it from the TV deals? Because there are no ticket sales, so I'm assuming the TV deals are really strong. So you're talking about One Sports, you're talking about Signal, you're talking about all these other broadcasting channels where you can get your money. But I'm not even sure if you can make it up as fast as you think you can because there's only a single round. It's a single round robin tournament. So again, that's the part of the whole gimmicky feel to me. And again, Miggy touched on this as well. Any basketball right now is good for the Filipinos. We all want to cheer for the Barangay Ginebra, for all the people who love Barangay Ginebra, San Miguel, all these teams talking text. We want to see JB Castro. Sorry, not JB Castro,
Naluloksin!
Jason Castro. Yeah, all these guys. We want to see them back on the court, I guess, and we just want to see some quality basketball. So let's see how this bubble thing shakes out. I'm not really a fan of it too much, to be honest with you. I don't watch the PBA. To be honest, I watch a lot more MPL, UAAP, NCAA than the PBA because I feel like at that level, the even Sasafi, I watch more. To be honest, because I feel like the games are more authentic. I feel like the competition is a lot more intense. You feel the drama more so than you would in the PBA. In the PBA, I don't get the feel. All right, I'm sorry to disappoint people who are diehard fans of the PBA and Ginebra and San Miguel and all these teams, but I just feel that there's a lot more authenticity basketball wise outside of the PBA. So let's see. I mean, again, any basketball right now is good basketball. So yeah.
It's
True,
really
true.
different from the previous PBA
Okay,
compared
okay.
to what it is right now.
So, ako alam, for your information, for those guys nga wala gid kayo to stay tuned sa PBA, they're currently kanang housed sa Quest resort. It's not just a hotel, but it's a resort wherein it has like 200, as far as I'm concerned, or sa akong mga research, it has like more or less about 200 to 220 rooms. And the PBA actually has 150 players, right, in total. Panay labot sa ilang mga, sa tawagan na, mga ball boys nila, coaches, and such. But ganina, I was watching Scotty Thompson's like vlog. There are like some rooms nga gi-accommodate ang duha. So, wala ko kasabot. Di ba sa NBA, kung sagad sila, kanang murag, I think it's budget nila, I think muna sa year kaya ra gyud sa PBA. But the resort was really good. Tapos yung video nga akong gishow ganina, that was how the resort was. So naay pool, naay golf course. So these players would still be able to like somehow kind of enjoy, okay? And I think they're gonna be there. Longest, ang short test good daw is 1 month. Longest would be 2 months. So most likely the PBA would end before Christmas. Murag na nanay champion before Christmas, or probably before December manggay tingali kay it's gonna start October 11, right? But I haven't really seen the schedule sad. Upaw kita on sa first game and all mga na. So, nalang ko question ninyo guys regarding the PBA bubble. All right? Atay. All right, so I'm actually reading some comments on the side. So, ako lang question ninyo in regards to like the PBA bubble is number one, unsay kanang sorry. My question is, what's your take towards Junmar Fajardo not playing in the bubble, as well as Greg Slaughter not playing the bubble? Because there are a lot of talks that this situation without Junmar and Slaughter makes the PBA like a level field. Like all 10 teams could contend sa finals, or could go to the playoffs, or could do or could actually go deeper sa kuan sa liga. So what's your take on it though? Let's start with you, Jeff.
I'm not sure about leveling the playing field. If you take out Fajardo, San Miguel on paper still looks like the more formidable team, because they still, correct me if I'm wrong, I could be wrong with the lineups. They still have Stan Hardinger, they still have Lassiter, they still have Chris Ross, Alex Cabagnot. That's still a very stacked team, and that's a championship caliber team. Arvin Santos, by the way, also you put that kind of a team out there. They're not. Sorry.
He's not with San Miguel anymore. He's with Global Port. Si Chris
Oh
Princeton.
yeah, okay. Yeah. But yeah, that's still a pretty stacked team, I think, San Miguel. Again, I apologize for getting that wrong, but I'm not sure about the playing field necessarily being leveled. For the longest time, the PBA has been Junmar Fajardo's stage, but San Miguel is again still a pretty stacked team. So, and Slaughter hasn't really played well enough for me to say that he's been a factor for, I think, Ginebra. Does he play for Ginebra? I'm not sure where he plays now. He's still with Ginebra. Okay, great. Look, Slaughter hasn't played for the longest time. So, I mean, what kind of how are we exactly leveling playing field? So
Actually, Slaughter has played in the last final for the last conference. The
yeah,
only reason he's not playing is because nang luod siya kay wa siya girenew sa Ginebra, and
right.
girenew siya pero he wants to have in his contract nga na ay non-trade clause. But when he knew nga i-trade siya, I think it was for I totally forgot who kinsa to siya i-trade for, but he was on the trading block sa Nebra. That's the reason why he went to the States. He didn't like sign a new contract sa PBA, and he signed with a kanang European kanang manager, because he's trying to penetrate the EuroLeague. So that's the status of kining si Greg Slaughter. All right.
Slaughter. Hey, if I'm Slaughter, I take that deal. You know what I mean? You have a chance to play in the Euro League, you do it. The Euro League, I've heard, has so many benefits. Yeah.
He's not guaranteed that he's gonna be in a team sa EuroLeague. He's trying out. He just got himself a European manager to actually get him kanang murag
Yeah.
sa mga ito. But Greg's like what? He's like 31, 32, something.
Yeah. But
He's
again,
still-
if you have,
I think
Considers him as a project. That's the hard thing.
yeah, I
Alright,
mean,
but-
again, if you're Greg Slaughter, you take that chance, whatever chance you have. You're 31, you might as well roll the dice because if
Yep.
Ginebra is not re-signing you, yeah, but you've been plagued. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Slaughter has been plagued with injuries throughout his entire career. I think there was a full 2 years where I didn't really even see Greg Slaughter playing for the Barangay Ginebra. So, I mean, if you're Slaughter, if a team in the European competition level or the European level wants to pick you up, by all means, go hard and pursue it. You know, I wouldn't
Actually,
fault him if he does.
yeah, Brother
Ikaw,
Mark, actually, Danny Ainge actually sent me a message asking about Slaughter. Yeah, I think, yeah, because they need a center for next season. Basig makaduwa siya dito sa Boston.
Atay sa
There's
Boston.
such a huge crop of NBA laden talent in the G League alone. Really, really.
Alright. So I'm gonna throw you that question as well, Kuya. So what do you think about Slaughter and Fajardo, two of the biggest like names in the PBA, not playing this season? So does that make the PBA competitive, more competitive? I mean,
First of all, that's a really bad news for us Cebuanos because we
yeah,
know Junmar and Sutter are from Cebu. They played here during their college days, so uh, it's bad for the Cebuanos not seeing both Junmar and Slaughter play in the bubble. So may tatog na silang duha. With regards to competition, leveling playing field, um, I really, yeah, maybe perhaps it could level the playing field because we all know Junmar really dominated for 5 years. I think he has been the MVP for five
yes,
consecutive years.
yes, sir.
Right? If I'm right. So maybe let's just wait and see if there's really competition in the bubble with Junmar and Slaughter not being able to play this time. So let's see. But it's bad for Cebuano fans not
Okay,
being able to see them.
all right. So ikaw, Mix, what's your take on that? Like PBA being like being more competitive without Fajardo
Mm.
and Slaughter.
Well, in Barangay Nebra's case, we sometimes forget they still have Japet Aguilar.
True.
They still have Jody Vance. Now, that's still a pretty big lineup for the PBA. And they still have that system.
Mm-hmm.
And and in my opinion lang, as long as Scotty Thompson is still on Barangay Ginebra, I mean, they're still a scary team. For San Miguel, yeah, okay, wala si Fajardo, but they still have Mo Tautua. No, there's still a loaded team.
Okay.
I've always said this to everyone na makasuryan ako when it's about the PBA. Even the second five, even the second stringers of San Miguel, they'd be first five players on other teams. Now they're so
Mm-hmm.
loaded, especially with the guards. They're so loaded sa guards. Na you have guys like Marshall Lassiter coming off the bench in limited minutes. Nga na sila ka-loaded. So they're still a very strong team. But we'll see, no, because San Miguel has a tendency to kanang take games off. So and single round robin rabi ani.
Okay.
So we never know. We never know unsa mitabo nila. Bis mo lagi kay sometimes they think na they've built a big lead, then they give up leads. No.
True.
But again lagi San Miguel and Ginebra, they're still very loaded. They're not the underdogs. They should not be considered dark horses in the PBA bubble. Kanang I see San Miguel going at least number 2.
Number two.
Yeah.
Okay. Sa ako alang, I think it's mura siya og tinuod man nga like SMC is really dominating the PBA with murag sila ray ga shuffle of players and
Yeah.
yeah, because they're a rich team good. That company's kind of big, so ka-afford yun sila. But for me lang, yeah, tinuod saktos kuya, it's a sad news for Cebuanos because two of the biggest names sa Cebu, Slaughter and Fardo, we won't be able to see them like sa PBA. All right, but sa ako alang sad, I think it would be like an opportunity for teams like Colombian, like so pa ganyan
CJ CJ Perez. CJ
Blackwater,
Perez.
Northport. Yeah.
yeah, Northport to somehow show us what they're worth, right? Because kini sila nga teams manggod, as far as I could see, they're the ones murag, they're the ones giving chance to those like kanang murag mga, it's not really like nobodies, but kato mga wa kayo tagdagit sa mga kanang mga big PBA teams like San Miguel, like Ginebra, like Magnolia, so TNT. So guys like Ayon Ayon, like sila ni kining si
I'm really
Adrian.
excited about kay Dayon.
Yeah, but kana lang sad siya. So sa ako alang, who I'm gonna ask you as well. Who do you think would emerge as the champions sa PBA? All right, for me it's gonna be Nebra because I think kanang mura ganig then again Slaughter ra ginawala sila ha, but they still have Japet Aguilar. They do have they still have like Stanley Pringle. They still have Scotty Thompson, L.A. Tenorio. So it's still like a formidable team that could really win it all. I think the only team na murag hadlok sad is for me lang Talk and Text. Para ko.
Yeah.
Sa imuha ko who do you think would win the championship?
Miami Heat.
I don't even know where he gets that. That's crazy.
Here, right?
For me, yeah, I agree with you, Marky Mark, simply because the core of the team still there, especially Pringle, L.A. Tenorio, and what's that again? The rebounding guard, Scotty Thompson is there. Is Marky Kagiwa still playing?
Yeah, he is. He was extended for 1 year.
Yeah, he's a really good addition. I mean, core of the team as a leader. So murag sila ang murag intact kayong core nga ligon. Si Napal, si Japet. So ligon sila, but we all know there are many surprises in the bubble. So from outside looking in, mao na tong makita nga sila ang murag formidable na team to beat in this bubble. But again, there are many surprises in the bubble, as we all see in the NBA. Let's see.
All right. So ikaw, Jeff, who do you think would win the championship PBA? I'm listing this.
Let me just say.
Okay, balikan ako tamuan ni after finals sa PBA side. So who do you think would win?
Yeah, let me just chime in on this PBA situation real quick because I've had such a long-standing frustration with the PBA. Number one, can we all just agree when it comes to the PBA, can we as fans just see a little bit more authenticity when these guys are out there playing the game? I mean, to me,
game 7, brother.
no, I mean, yeah, that's the problem, with the PBA. It's so frustrating to watch. I mean, and Migs and I have had this conversation for the longest time, and we've always said that if the PBA just was like the UAAP, was like the NCAA, minus the politics, minus all these, mother teams, you're always thinking like you already know what's going to happen. Every Filipino, and this is so frustrating with the PBA. We all know it's going to Game 7. They're down 3-1. There's no way this goes to Game 7. They're gonna surprise us with the Game 6. Oh, okay, all right, cool. But Ginebra's gonna win. Fucking Texas is gonna win. San Miguel is gonna win. So it's so frustrating, huh? I mean, as a basketball fan, please, PBA. Which leads me to point number 2 about this whole bubble season. If you want to establish a little bit more credibility, can we see a well-written narrative with the PBA? Because in the NBA, what makes it so watchable is because every one of these 32 teams, you can actually write a narrative, and you as a fan would just love to follow it. Everyone watching this podcast and the panel that we have here, we can all agree. The reason why we watch the NBA, the reason why we follow it so die-heartedly is because there's a narrative that we love to follow. There's a story that we love to listen to. In the PBA, what's the best story, Brush, Jerry and Migs? What's the best story to follow in the PBA? Tell me right now, what's the best story to follow? Story of the PBA. What's the best? None. What's the best story? What's the best story?
Ask it again. Nigahi ka. Nigahi na ka. You fool,
Sorry,
man.
internet. All right, again, question: What's the best story? What's the best story for us to follow in the PBA right now? What's the best narrative? What's the most entertaining one?
So PBA for now.
For me,
Off the
the
top of your
best
head,
story in
yeah.
the PBA right
Think
now,
about it.
the
Think about
best
it.
story in the PBA right now is how the hell has Asitaw Lava and Mark Agiwa lasted this long? They should have retired like 5 years ago. Kaya bang,
You add up Rafi Rivas. He's still with Magnolia.
yeah. But
Well,
at least ani
exactly.
mo ha. At least si
Let me-
Rafi Rivas, he's the old guy, but he's producing.
True. True.
Hey,
I mean,
true. Hey, look,
oh, there's really no
go ahead.
like
Go ahead, bro.
narrative towards it. I
And
mean,
Yeah.
well, again,
yeah,
I really don't know
maybe
why it
perhaps a lot of
came.
diehard PBA fans are looking forward to when the suspension be lifted for Calvin Aveva. I read an article just earlier. I think there's a
We're gonna talk
chance.
about. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's.
so
Yeah, we'll
maybe
talk
perhaps
about it
that's
in a
the
bit.
only narrative that's really
I
really interesting for those diehard PBA fans.
actually
Again,
sakto si Jeff. Wala gay positive nga murag something about the PBA nga
Canada.
really draw the fans. Usually
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Yeah, let me tell you something. Let me provide a compare and contrast for you. If you ask me right now off the top of my head, what's the narrative in the UAAP? There's so many intriguing headlines that you can choose from. The whole Sorsogon
Okay.
bubble with UST. Ateneo's recruits. Are they going to win another championship? Will
UP's
Ateneo
recruits.
dominate? UP is the most stacked team I have
Loaded.
ever seen in UAP history.
Loaded.
Ever since I started following UAP, UP has a team that I think could even beat some of these
Loaded.
PBA teams. They look like Kentucky. That one year,
So
I forgot
loaded.
what year it was.
Mm.
I think it was the Eric Bledsoe year or the John Wall year, where the worst team in the NBA could be taken out by Kentucky, the John Wall era. Okay?
All right.
There's so many narratives to be written for the UAP
Mm.
alone. Cesapi basketball is the most followed narrative in Cebu sports. Can UV be dethroned? Will in the high school level, will Ateneo be dethroned? Who are the recruits coming in? How are they creating the narrative for the Cesapi basketball? So with the PBA, I mean, again, for me as a fan, can we create some drama? Is there actually any credible drama to that effect? What players? It's the same old drum, man. Come on. So again, I'm off the question, but let me answer this. So San Miguel, I mean, it's to me, it's you won't see. There's no PBA if San Miguel is not deep in the finals, or I don't know. Maybe CJ.
Playoffs.
Maybe it's a take. Yeah, maybe it's the takeover of CJ Perez. Maybe we see Bobby Parks more. Maybe Kiefer Ravenna takes NLEX to the next level. I don't know. Again,
Yeah.
with the PBA, there's not much to work with for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm not seeing it that way. I don't know.
Before I forget it
Ako for
again,
me, yeah, actually.
trade DI for Slaughter is Bobby Ray Parks. Mo dito na ang trade package. For token text, tapos Bobby Ray Parks would be sa Inabra. All right. So before I forget that. So ikaw, Migs, what's your take on it?
Well, personally lang lagi, I'm a fan too. No, I get frustrated with the PBA, but I still wanted to do well.
Yeah.
Ang ako manggod ba is that I follow these guys from college, no? CJ Perez, Robert Bolick, JJ Alejandro, JV Mocon, guys like that, Stingray, Nambatak. And these are really good players from the NCAA. Hello? Yes.
Yeah.
Kita mo na ako? Okay. Yeah. These are really good players from the NCAA. These are really good players from the UAP. And then they just sometimes they're not given the chance ba. Okay, yeah, they get to play, but it's like the PBA does not do its part in promoting the new guys. Kabantay mo? It's always
Migs, hold on, let me ask you something. Migs, let me ask you something. Mark and Jerry can chime in on this as well. Collegiate stars, Kiefer Ravenna, Reynam Batak, all these guys who were mega stars in college, they moved to the PBA. Let me ask you guys this. Were they more household names in college than they are in the PBA?
No
Was
question.
Bobby Ray
They were more
Parks
famous in college.
not a household name? Exactly. Was Bobby Ray Parks not a household name? You would follow. I followed Bobby Ray Parks when he was NU. The narratives that were being written for Bobby Ray Parks when his dad died, the game that he dedicated to him, that was in the Final Four. Kiefer Ravenna, the whole
Going to the D-League, yeah.
Ateneo run, going in the D League.
Yeah.
We follow. There's something wrong with the way the PBA operates to me, and it's more money making for big business than it is for the players to actually have a space to promote themselves, right?
I have a
And look at
suggestion.
yeah.
Good. Continue,
Yeah,
Jeff.
no, let me just end with this, right? So, I mean, look at Richie Rivero, Kobe Paras, Juan Gomez Deli
Yeah.
Año in UP, in USD,
Yo,
Lenz Abando being dubbed the next LeBron James of the Philippines, right? And again, Ateneo with a stack lineup heading into the new year. There are just so many storylines that you can follow. I wish, as a legitimate hardcore basketball fan, I wish the PBA would allow for some type of system where we as fans can enjoy the game, enjoy the stories being written about these players, not on the negative side, but more on the positive side, like what we're seeing in other leagues. Because the PBA to me is so lackluster. I don't know why I'd even watch it, to be honest.
All right.
yeah, I think yeah, I just have a suggestion. Instead of this format for PBA, if it is really feasible, why not do the format for, have you guys nakakita mo mga atong NBA nag-abot mo ato?
Yeah,
Nga to
yeah,
style
yeah.
gani murag mas kuha mo to.
Oh, like,
Mas
Cebu Gems.
mas
Cebu
grabe ba
Gems.
to ga? Nga to ba?
yeah.
Murag
Oh,
mo dito tinindot,
hey, for
Mga
sure.
ginapa, yeah.
di ba? Kay sa
I
PBA
love
nga pila
watching
ra
the
ka teams.
NPBL. I'll
Nya
admit to you right now. I love watching the
yeah,
NPBL.
local nga kuan mga
Mm,
talents or basketball players,
yeah.
they have a chance to
Homegrown.
really play professionally.
Mm,
So yeah, ang fans said mga local fans, hardcore local
mm,
fans, they have the chance to kuan. Oh, in PBL nga na style ba?
mm.
Di ba?
Yeah.
So nga na unta ba? Kay kung
Pero,
hindi mo rag
Tinamdam mo a few
commercialize
years back.
nga wako sabot.
Tinamdam mo a few years back na grabe kayo ang PBA sa ilang mga fines. Fining everyone. Ako naka-post ko sa Facebook ato saying na okay, that's why grabe kay sila og fines because ilang giveaway kay wa may mananaos duwa. Di ba, which is kanang somewhat mao gyud kana bang dili kaniha, this comes from my father who is himself a very big basketball fan. Mana gyud siya nga the difference between the MPBL, the PBL at una, and then the NBA og sa PBA is that ang mga players sa PBA I think they don't have any pride playing for their team.
True.
Kanang dili sila passionate
True.
playing for their team.
Fair ka
Magabantay mo.
na kasi mo kuan ba? Oh. Kahit
True.
kung doon
Yeah.
the Veros
Hey,
for
pero-
Cebuano Gems, Cebu Gems.
sakto
Yeah.
good.
I'm
Pero
gonna point out two things.
tanawa ato mga players.
I have
Go ahead.
Tanawa ato mga players MPBL, no? Because I think there's an attitude of desperation in MPBL because you want to make it, di ba? You want to make it to the
Yeah.
big leagues. Sa MPBL magpakitang gilas yun sa MPBL, whether you're the number 1 guy or the number 15 guy, mo dive sa
Yeah,
bula,
you're going playing
mo
hard.
hustle on
You're playing
defense,
hard.
di ba? So
Ito.
Yeah.
I wish
agree.
we would see that in the PBA, and sometimes di man good because it's all big companies. They're basically are they basically employees of the company, and then they just do the bare minimum and then mo na lang na. Diba? It's sayang ba?
Yeah, no. Yeah, let me tell you guys an interesting story that I got. It was from maybe 2 years back, and I heard this from a reliable source, but I won't name also the player that I got it from. So there was a conversation that ensued, and I was just basically, I was eavesdropping. It was a drinking session, and the story goes, well, basically the player was asked, what's wrong with the PBA? And the player basically responded by saying, well, you have to understand. And logically, financially, it makes sense, right? You have to understand. We, as players, don't necessarily want to exert that much effort when we know we're guaranteed what we can have. So we play the first 2 or 3 years, easy does it, get a couple of stats, make my name, so on and so forth. And then the final year and a contract year, I'm gonna give it my best shot. And then you resign me. And then the cycle does that, it goes in that cycle again. Which as fans, we're kind of robbed of the experience of what the actual level of competition is, or the level of competition where we as fans would expect it to be, because these players are just relax lang. Wala. I mean, I'm not on a contract year. I'm not gonna give it my best shot. And the second story that I got was it's a verified story from Jimmy Alapag. when Jimmy Alapag, and I think we all know this, he went to the U.S. where I think he's sort of like he's with the Sacramento Kings. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's with the Sacramento Kings, right?
Correct.
Yeah, he's pursuing a coaching career though. So
Yeah.
Yeah, in the States.
Assistant coach.
Hey, hats off. Yeah, hats off to Jimmy Alapag for pursuing that. And he made this comment where he was surprised because NBA players were actually in the practice court, and this is something that's very well documented in the National Basketball Association. NBA players are on the practice court 3 to 4 hours before practice would actually start. So coming from Jimmy Alapag saying that he was surprised because I'm sure the reason why he was surprised is because in the PBA, I'm sure Filipino time, these guys are late for practice. I will make a bet that these guys are either late for practice, they're there an hour before. NBA guys, hey, this is their livelihood. They take this stuff seriously. I'm here 3 to 4 hours. I'm working on my game. I'm the 15th guy on the bench. Let me come out here and dog these guys and fight for my spot. In the PBA, they don't care. I'm gonna make my money. To some effect, I'll play politics or whatever, and then hey, it is what it is. At the end of the day, whatever performance is on the floor, that's the quality you'll get.
Okay.
Exactly.
Practice,
So we're
not the
talking
game.
about practice.
Not the game.
We're talking about practice.
Practice?
We're talking about practice, brother Terry. Exactly. I mean,
ako lang, bro, siya. I mean, I've actually heard like stories like that from players as well. But I guess sa ako alang, PBA players don't get late. By the way, sila practices. It's just that they don't do that extra mile of being there like a couple of hours or probably 3-4 hours before. I mean, naa matingali panagsa, but not on a consistent basis wherein you'd really see that. Probably because sa US man good, I mean, there's really a lot of competition and there's like mura ganig ilangon sa nga if maninguha ako, there's like 30 teams, 30 G League teams, so the opportunity is really opportunity really is there if maninguha lang sila. Unlike sa PBA, there's like 10 teams, yakabaw pagita nga politika pagit kayo ng pagsulod nimo diha, you need to be backed up by somebody for you to be able to be drafted. I mean, that's true. I mean, how many PBA players or kanang wala magdugay sa PBA nga naaron sa MPBL na who be there? All right?
Case in point, Mac Talio.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where I was supposed to go into. Mac Talio.
Mac Talio. Mac Talio, if you're listening, boy, we're rooting for you, man. Let's go.
Exactly. So, muna siya, like, sa PBA, I mean, if you would look at the culture sa MPBL, mas daghan pa noon og mas daghang mga bata, mas daghan ang mga naa sa mid-20s, late 20s, early 30s nga somehow mura sila nabuhian ganig pag-asa silang dream because they know they could do it there. Naa sila chance sa MPBL, mas makakita lagi kag ganang mas daghang mo strive compared sa PBA. Murag sa PBA it's like what every player would want to end up with, but based sa uban mga story, I mean, if you're not like a name good nga, let's say pareha nilang Kiefer or mga yana, you would expect to be there probably simong rookie contract, which would be about like 2 years or even a year. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, the maximum year nga ang PBA could offer right now is 3 years. Mura ilang ma-offer ron nga maximum nga like contract sila. And then for rookies, it's a year if dili ka kanang murag lottery pick. If di ka ma-appeal sa first round, it's like a year if nana ka sa second round and so forth. If you're in the first round, then you're guaranteed for like 2 years. Pero correct me if I'm wrong, guys, for you guys watching na maswitos-witos ang muwag PBA. Pero that's basically it. Bottom line is, sakto mo guys, there's really no storyline, there's no narrative that would really draw the crowd back to the PBA. Probably, opening nila, naimutan now, of course, ma-curious on sa itsura sa bubble, ma-curious on sa gawa sa duwa, and they're also following the NBA's kato ganing murag ilahang kanang digital crowd nga fans could watch it on monitors. Based really, Kuya is laughing, pero yes, sakto gyud ka Kuya. Hangtod sa pag-basketball Pinoy gasuno-suno ra gyud. Nya, kuan.
Ako Mark, pwede mo. Kuan ko Mark. Yeah. Sorry, padayon. Sorry.
Pwede ma.
Sorry. Mo lagi no kanang kabantay ka sa atong conversation karon. It's always I heard from I heard from, we never see any story na i-post. I mean, we never see any story getting published in the papers. No one ever publishes it in the kibaw ka ano, because kanang musa sa nasa problem na to sa problem sa PBA diri is that they tend to kanang control everything.
True.
They've even banned, I know for a fact that they've even banned certain media members from covering the PBA because, of course, some of these media members, some of these journalists found something anomalous ba sa ilang games. And David, I know for one because ako siyang, I messaged him on Facebook, spin.ph. I mean, we're all familiar with spin.ph. Kato siya, that certain journalist was very vocal about the issue anang kanang what they call karon coaching consultants. We see that with Talk and Text. They have a foreigner pero nakalista on their roster is si Ravenna ang head coach, di ba? And then we have a foreigner as a consultant. That's actually kanang because foreign coaches are supposed to be banned in the PBA as long as there are Filipino coaches available. That's kind of kanang finding a loophole in the rules, no? That's why na kay consultant and he brought that up. And ang ending was kanang di-ban siya sa PBA. So what I'm trying to tell you is kanabang there's no gripping storyline because I think the PBA does not allow a gripping storyline. The PBA does not allow controversy. The PBA is not open to people kanang from the outside saying na kanabang hey PBA, you should take a look at this. This might be interesting because the PBA wants to control everything.
So that
And
brings
that's
me to this question para sa mo, Mig.
Yeah.
Is Commissioner Willie Marshall doing a bad job sa PBA? Muda akong question dito sa mo.
Well, karon ha, I mean I really don't know kay kanabang in comparison to the previous commissioners. 'Di ba? I mean, kinsa man nimo siya i-compare. The previous commissioners didn't do a good job. The previous commissioners kanang didn't fix the parity issue. The previous commissioners, if you remember, it was the commissioner before him who approved that Kia trade to bring Stan Hardinger to San Miguel.
True.
Which was I kanabang nikunot jud akong agtang ato na di ba Stan Hardinger was supposed to be the balancing factor sa PBA.
True.
And then you allow him to go to San Miguel. So I think it's still a wait and see game for Willie Marshall. It's still very early sa iyang pagka-commissioner. But
He only sat down there for like 2 years.
Yeah, pero kanilang ha. To his credit, it took a lot of balls. It took a lot of balls for him to convince na naatay PBA bubble. I mean, I hope that came from him.
Yeah,
Pero mo lagi the question has always been, is the commissioner independent really of the board of governors, or is he still is someone still
puppeting him?
Is someone higher up still kanang controlling him? So mo gonna
MVP.
question ba?
MVP.
Pero para lang sa kuha, the best commissioner sa PBA based sa kuha lang yung nakita lang, it was June Bernardino. Katong namatay na nga commissioner. That was the time nga nindot daghang tao ang arenas. But now, I mean, they have better arenas right now sa PBA, pero wa jud kay mananaw. I really probably it's because
sometimes I think kani Mark, I mean brothers kanabang I think the PBA does not appreciate its fans. Kung kabantay mo, they don't kanabang
for sure.
Kanabang they give me the impression that they really don't care about the product on the floor.
Guys,
A lot of games are really sloppy. A lot of
if you're able to catch nila itong nga time nga silang Alvin Patrimonio, ito silang Meneses, silang
Osa, Hockey,
Samboy Lim, and Alvarez, itong nga time mga golden age jud sa itong Ginebra, Never Die Spirit. As in grabe
dito games, di ba?
Grabe jud yung competition na itong nga time, lahi ra jud guys tanan karon. It's really different.
True.
Naalam ko yung question ninyo. I just would want you to give me your take about this. You mentioned Mike Ayon earlier. So we heard the news and Lex is really hoping na Mike Ayon would would somehow make up the absence of Larry Fornashier and Cyrus Baguio. But
Cyrus.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, Mike Ayon Ayon was not given the go signal by San Juan sa MPBL to play the PBA. Mainly because wa pa man mahuman na season sa MPBL, like their playoffs, San Juan is contending for a back-to-back like championship. So what's your take
Yeah.
on that one? What pa may clarity if MPBL would continue? Would you allow Ayon Ayon to play there, or would you stick to the contract na he has to finish his San Juan stint? I'll start with you, Ani Kuya.
Well, if the contract is not binding and will let him play to other teams, well, then go play. But if it's binding, that's another story, Marag. Lisod na.
It
So, depende.
it is binding, pero si Jinggoy Estrada ang magbuo sana because he owns San
Yeah.
Juan. I mean, he
So,
could give
that's, if that's the case, yeah. If that's the case, it really depends on Jingoy.
pero wa man siya sulti.
Oh, so wala tayo mabuhat na.
Ah,
That's for me.
Ikaw,
same,
ikaw,
same.
what
I
do you
mean,
think?
and look again. If you're talking about contracts, you got to honor the commitment that you made to that contract. But if someone higher up and who controls that contract won't let you, why would you? The same for Peter Jerry. I don't know why you would try and put yourself in a situation where you could be sued. So not much
True.
there for me.
How about you, Nick? Kay sayang sad.
Well,
Okay,
well, you know, it's a
the PBA.
kanabang a contract. Momogid na. They have their rights too. I don't know how it works in the PBA if kanang can NLEX buy him out gikan sa iyang contract sa MPBL. I wouldn't know.
Okay.
Pero mo lagi I mean kanang if I were the San Juan Knights, of course I wouldn't let him play. I've made an investment on Mike Ayon Ayon. I made him Mike Ayon Ayon would not be the star he is. I mean the projected star he is will with the PBA if dili sa tungod sa San Juan Knights and if the San Juan Knights didn't give him a chance. So
Alright.
it's only fair that they would say no.
Okay. So, guys, I would want to like show you some pictures, right? We're gonna go to that segment 032 kicks, 032 reacts. Okay. Actually, kuanday di pa din ni mao ang 032 reacts. This is just like one topic that I want to talk to you about. But since we've already almost reached the hour mark, I'm really like amazed we've reached like an hour talking about PBA basketball. Nga, I guess sweet ta about basketball and the PBA before, pero karon bro blanco gid kay ta. But
To be honest,
Sorry sa atong listeners. No, we didn't mean for this to be the PBA hate show.
I mean, yeah, we just did a lot
We're
of
just
complaining.
being honest
but,
here.
yes, sir.
No
We're,
hate.
we're
Kung si Kuya Jeva,
saying
no
what you
hate. Just
all are thinking.
facts.
Come on.
True. Hey, before we go to that, let me just read some comments here from our viewers. Right. First is
Okay.
from Jasper Loreto, one of the kanang best point guards I've played with. Naniroon siya sa Singapore.
Kung pinaka-idol na ko na siya, Mark. I mean, I went
Exactly.
first
Yeah, I
year ko
remember
sa
Jasper.
College of Arts and Sciences. He welcomed me sa basketball team. Thank you kayo, Kuya Jas. One of the
Yeah.
best to ever do it. Honestly, one of the best players I ever seen in my life. Tinood lang.
Yeah.
Consistent kay jumper, gid ba?
Yeah.
Wa gid mulubad. Alright. So next one here is from John Dinapo. Agi lang ko mga bossing, duties ako, pa-wash out.
Oy, shout out to
Okay.
John
John Dinapo.
Harris, James Reed, Arsuki here.
Yes, sir. And then another one here from Bates Michael. Pa-wash out, Sir Gerger. All right.
James Michael McGee.
Yes,
Shout out
sir.
to you.
Daghan na
Member
mo
na siya sa 032 Solid Fans na sila
sir.
group chat.
Nanapila dire. Arvin Ray Escartin. Gerger.
Yeah,
Shout out. Yawa.
Arvin Reyes Cartin from Kamputao Basketball. Shout out to you. And Maki Baki, our viewers also. Mga solid, nasa sila group chat again. Mga solid
Alright.
032 fans.
Yes, sir. And then naapay another here from Ayan Zonoria, akong classmate pag high school. Joe Braggs, comment po diya. Yes, si Joe Bragat, classmate, batchmate na ako sa Boys High before. And then another one here from Yani Lim, JQ, so fun.
True. Mark, kaning sunod na
shout out to
comment.
Yanni,
Mark,
man.
na ko'y story. Kaning sunod na comment, ha?
Yes, sir. And another one here, pero Mang Mokong Kapay.
There was one
Okay.
time,
Can,
and I
can I tell you this
forgot. There
story?
was one
Can I
time, and
tell
I
you this
forgot.
story?
Yeah, sure, sure,
There was
sure.
one time, and I
Okay.
forgot. There was one time, and I forgot.
So, story yan is that ako, I'm political science na course in San Carlos. So, I was based in Talamban. Na kay Talamban mo to. Kani sila, mga accountancy, mga business school. They were in Maine. So, kani si Yanni is an old friend from Ormoc. Of course, he introduced me to Japheth. Sige na migdog basket. So, from one of our basketball games, pauli na mi. Dungan mi ni Japheth sa jeep. Speaking English the whole time sa jeep. And it got very awkward. And then inaog siya diha sa may Paradise, di ba? Sa may Paradise no kanina
I can't remember.
I think yeah. Basta ninaog siya somewhere diha sa agianan sa 13C. And then niana ang conductor nga, niana ang conductor nga, dong ikaw mo bayad at mo kauban dong. Nasuya kay ko ba kay mag-English in English na akong amigo. Hindi man ni gani mo pliti sa jeep.
I forgot. Hey, Mark, I gotta
Japheth,
clarify
you'll
something.
never
Okay,
live
hey,
that
that was
down.
one time. Hey man, look, listen. That was one time, and I swear to God, all right. You know that was a weird situation. All right, whatever.
Dapat
One time
mag-English.
makes one time.
Gusto ko mag-English niya mamukong.
Napoy question. I want you to do this right now, right? So that the viewers napod sila something nindot nga makita sa tong episode ron kay negative kay taron sa PBA. I want you to kanang unsa imong baton, unsa imong isulti sa driver, ipliti nimo sa jeep, ipliti nimo tapos moingon ka nga usara nya padung kag Talamban. What do you say?
What's that? Talamban? What's that? Talamban? What's that? Talamban?
Usa
I'm not that. I'm not like. What's that?
Three
One
for one.
Talamban. Goddamn.
Three for one.
That's so cringy, dude. Come on,
Talamban.
man. Hey.
ako feeling Jeff di ka mo
Nah.
mo ka diretso ka daog di ka mo pliti.
Kaya mali na Jeff, if your girlfriend is
I've changed
watching,
my ways. I've changed
Yes,
my
sir.
ways,
If
man.
your
That
girlfriend is
was
watching,
from
that's
college. It
something.
was a weird time. Yeah. I can't believe Yanni remembers that story.
One of my classmates again sa Boysay, Joe Braggs, Ian Zanoria, good job PBA. Yes, it's a good job for them because they were able to do the bubble. All right, and
For sure.
from your brother Brush, from Derek, Northport na Star Hardinger.
Yeah, you just got
He's a big
fact
fan of
checked by
Northport.
Derek. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I
Another one
don't follow it. I'll be honest, I don't follow it too much.
from my classmate Ian Zanoria, Joe Braggs, ako giwat kay NABC Bubble. So kini kuan siya North
Ang alumni.
alumni
Yeah,
na ako sa
or USC.
asa mata isod ko ibabol mi sa San Carlos sa Boysay asa mamibutang mga classroom. Asa mibutang
That's a fate worse than death.
exactly. Pero aircon, in fairness, aircon na sila dito. And then another one here from Christian Tarona. Shout out Jerry, watching from Canada, Mandawi City. All right.
Oi, Christian Jovet Tarona. Shout out to you.
Yes, sir. And then lastly, from Jades Michael Jordan, gipasayaw ni Sir Gerger, og it really hurts. It really hurts. All right. So now that we've got that out of the way, so guys, if you wanna like be shout out, if you want us to shout you out sa among broadcast karon, leave a comment and we'll happily do that. Okay. So
Guys, comment lang. It's gonna be worth it.
exactly. So
Telling you
the
now.
thing, I just would want to ask for your short opinion on this, all right? Because taas na kita og kanang coverage karon. So just this is like one of the controversies of PBA right now. Give me your take on this. I'll start with you, Kuya.
Woo.
The Destroyer meets the Destroyer. Speaks for the Destroyer.
Your
The
post.
Destroyer speaks for the Destroyer. So, sa akong nakaibawan niya, he's pro for, Calvin Abueva's suspension to be lifted. So I hope the commissioner will listen, coming from the old school veteran, Rudy Distrito. So I hope he can play. So at least daghan siya biyang natabang si or nakuan sa naamot sa PBA si Calvin. Even though I just hope nga mahuno na yung mga antics na mga ana. So let's just play clean, no dirty tactics. just play basketball. Para di
Yeah.
na siya mausap kay more last chance na yun niya.
No.
So, I hope makabalik na siya and tuloy-tuloy na. O,
All
dili
right.
na ma-suspenso or maban. So, yeah,
That's
let's hope.
that's something coming from a destroyer of Cebu City, a
No,
destroyer of baby girls.
I hope, yeah, makabalik na si Calvin.
All
Dagan siyang
right.
fans, ha?
The
Dagan siyang fans.
destroyer.
How about you?
Man.
What's your take on this about like the
Okay.
PBA still banning Calvin Abueva?
Ako?
Do I
Oh,
go? Do I go?
Yeah.
Oh, me? Oh, okay.
Is-
Well, look, I read up on this actually, and look, with Calvin Abueva, number one, it's a character issue, or there's something with Calvin Abueva, and and I gotta make it clear to everybody who's listening right now and to the panel as well. Look, I'm one of the biggest Calvin Abueva fans. Ever since he came out of San Sebastian, this guy was an absolute stud. He was averaging triple doubles. He was putting up monster numbers. Had his position in the small forward, where a guy his height versus a bunch of guys in the middle was getting 20 rebounds a game in San Sebastian. He comes into the league, shows some semblance of life, shows a spark of what he was able to do in San Sebastian. But again, what is Calvin Abueva now versus what he was before?
True.
And I think my biggest take on this is, look, the commissioner wants to make it very clear to Calvin Abueva that I'm gonna go this route. You're gonna follow this route. Whether you like it or not, this is what's gonna happen. You either shape up, or this happens, or I'm gonna ship you out. Plain and simple. And I think for the fans who are trying to create this whole narrative of let Calvin play, I think they need to understand there's
Hey, Jeff. Migs, are you there?
I'm here. Yeah.
Jeff, I think. Kuya, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Jeff,
Can
I
you hear?
think
I'm here.
I think it's your microphone, Jeff.
my mic. How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So-
yeah.
Yeah, all right. Look, let me close with this, right? So again, I think a lot of fans are a little bit misguided with the Super Abueva fans out there who are campaigning for him to already make a comeback to the PBA. I think they need to understand that the commissioner laid out a set of stuff for him to do. You follow it, and then you can. Problem again is not with the commissioner. The problem is not with the PBA. The problem is with Abueva, number one, because you put this on yourself. It's your fault. All right, with all your antics, with all you harassing Bobby Ray Parks' girlfriend, with that altercation with Terrence Jones, you and yourself. And the commissioner has laid out the path for you to come back. It's up to you as Calvin Abueva to either comply with those requirements or you find a way to expedite them. It's plain and simple. I don't understand why there's a campaign to have Calvin Abueva let him play. He has to do this. This is what has to be done. It's a process. You got to go through it. So yeah.
But they said he's already done with those requirements.
It's actually in the
No,
bubble now, but I'm not sure
I
if
read up.
Padua
I
or
read.
Baba.
it's an
Yeah, no.
indefinite suspension. Mga
Yeah, no. So it's
All right.
again for me. I read up on it earlier. The commissioner added 2 more requirements for him to comply with, right? And I think this is where people who are really distrito might be a little misguided in the sense where, okay, so again, it's the commissioner's prerogative to put Calvin Abueva on the straight path. Okay?
Okay.
Plain and simple. I don't understand why people are campaigning in a weird way. Like, no, it's not as if Calvin Abueva was given an unfair chance to come back to the PBA. Here's the path. Follow it. It's up to you if you can follow it or expedite it. Plain and simple. I don't understand why people are saying it's unfair. No, here's what he's supposed to do. Do it.
All right. How about you, Migs? What's your take on this?
Well, first off, same with Japet. I was a big fan of Beva in college because he played in Ormoc during the PCCL. That was a great team, but they could just never get over the San Beda hump.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was Tanggalang, Abueva, and Pascual. Yeah, it's a great
Yeah.
team. But yeah, I want him to play not because I approve of how he plays, because for me, I play really physical, but physical there's a big line between playing physical and playing dirty. Diba? I think we all know that. It's okay to play physical. That's part of the game. This is a contact sport. But playing dirty, that's another matter. Ang ako lang, my only issue with his suspension is this. Why make Calvin Abeba the example? Now, we have guys like Bo Belga who have done
Worse.
worse. Diba? We have guys like Arvin Santos who made a racial gesture against one of the imports just mga 2 years ago, if you remember. We have Enrico Villanueva I think it was during a Jones Cup, or it was an international game na he beat up one of the imports from the other team. He dragged him holding his leg to half court. Now pero why make Calvin Abeva the example? Let's not have a double standard here. Why is Willie Marshall really harsh on Calvin Abeva, but he looks the other way with Bo Belga? Ako mga makita ni Bo Belga, no? Sometimes manuyo mo siya. I think and I think this is
for sure.
This comes back to us as fans, because sometimes we don't notice, but we actually approve because we cheer for things like that. We cheer for antics, especially the fans who are there in the venue. Mamakpak man good. Maraming malingaw ba na hala iya tong gisiko, mamakpak ta. Hala iya tong he made this gesture. Diba? I mean, in the NBA, you can't do this. You can't do this to the bench. That's not something that's taken lightly in the NBA. But here's guys like, again, Calvin Abeba and Bo Belga, makashotgun sila, and they do this to the bench ba? I think we as fans also we need to get a bit more mindful about our players' actions. We should call them out on that. But mo lagi, why make Calvin Abeba the example here? He's being hung out to dry. But I think the reason nga stick to gid kayo si Willie Marshall, he has a lot of off-court issues. Diba? He left his wife, if you remember. And there were allegations that he have physically abused his wife.
Exactly,
I think
exactly.
I think mo lang gid siguro na ang iyarag yung off-court na mga issues ang problema. But as far as on-court ba, Calvin Abeba is not the only guy who's doing it, and Calvin Abeba is not the worst guy doing it.
But daghan mo kayo repeated na nga mga offenses niya sa concept ba kanang mga ingana gali yung mga antics, so
Yeah,
Reputation sa kuya ba?
yeah, mao sa
Repetition
siguro
sa-
nga nang nag-progress na gani, nag-progress na yung mga suspensions, yung mga offenses,
Yeah.
so
But
mao nang
guys, if I may ask, who's the dirtier player? Calvin Abeba or Kelinabong?
Wow, what a question. Oh man. Give me Abeba though. Abeba sort of made a name for himself being an annoying prick on the court.
that would be a really
Nabong
good
doesn't even see
match.
the court. Nabong doesn't even see the court. So
Ikaw,
Nabong is
kuya.
just- that would really be a good match. They're both scary to to play against. I'm sorry. Yeah. I think it's 50-50 ko na. Pareho
Okay.
sila.
All right, ikaw Migs. Who's the dirtier player? Nabong or Abeba?
For me, it's I think it's Abeba. Because si Kalinabong is more of an enforcer. Init lang yun sa ulo kung kabantay mo.
So,
But si Abeba, man, he goes for those rebounds, elbows out, tadaan. And he just swings them. He doesn't care. So, I think
Pero-
it's Abeba.
in fairness lang sa Calvin, I mean, he served the
Sinab-
country. He
Yeah.
did a lot of things for the
Yeah.
country and all.
Gilas.
Then, Luoy nasa ng family ba? I mean, that's the only thing that he knows what to do best. All right?
Oh, good.
Basketball, Luoy lang. Pero, then again,
Namong. Namong.
yeah,
Yeah.
namong
Yeah, family.
And brothers, you know what's worse? Nag-open unta siya restaurant.
Mm.
And then nag-pandemic.
Yeah.
Natimingan siya. Yeah, nag-open siya restaurant. Kaya nag-pandemic. So,
Ang ako lang,
muli
brother,
ito I think the last
Better,
na whole
better.
savings.
Kaya
Ikaw,
sinabong ba, pwede na ipa-psychiatric test. Pamilya na. Wala siya
Hey,
mental
him and
issues
Bo
siguro.
Belga. Him and Bo Belga. Something's not right.
Nabong lang gid is kanang
Hindi na parang na mental issue ba tayo.
kaya atras kay atay Kelinabong. Pero guys,
Oo.
That's our discussion regarding the PBA bubble and what's happening in the PBA.
Right.
But we'll now go to the last part of the show, right? Jeff's favorite, 032
Yeah.
Let's
React.
go.
Yes, sir. I'll actually have like probably 2 or 3 pictures to show you guys. So give me your take on this, right? This is not related to the finals or whatsoever, but it's NBA related. Give me your take on this, and I'll start with Miggy. Wait, there you go. Give me your take on that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Touching
wow,
story.
interesting. Yeah,
Touching
I read
story.
this.
It's nice to know that there are some owners who really care about the players,
Mhm.
di ba? Because a lot of owners, they treat their teams like a business. It's nice to know that Mark Cuban cares. Sometimes makakita mo gud niya and he looks like an asshole. Sorry, it's a family show. He looks like a jerk from behind the bench because he complains on every
Can't
call.
take that back.
But yeah, it's nice to know that there are owners who care about their players. It's Delonte West. Kanusta man siya last when was the last time he played for the Mavericks? It's been a long time.
Shout out na.
So kudos to Mark
Yeah,
Cuban.
he's bounced
Kudos to Mark
around.
Cuban.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Ikaw, kuya, what can you say about this picture?
Actually, when I read that story, I shared it on my wall, sa Facebook. So again, the touch ko. At least si Mark Cuban, he did his best nga matabangan jud niya yung
Yeah.
former player. Ang pangutana, isn't Delonte West a teammate of LeBron before sa Cavs? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was. He was.
But busy man sa
Yeah,
nag
Mag
final.
busy siya. He's very proactive in social justice campaign, whatever. So
Nauna na din.
mo na in the first na
what?
kung sa mind pagkakita na first na ko sa mong mind baka tong nagi picture niya nga nagbeg siya sa street.
True.
Ako tanong ko di ba nga kauban mo niya di ba sa katong Cavs nga dato sila finals. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
ako nga nagbasa ko article kinsa natabang kinsa ni offer tabang Doc Rivers etc. But ni refuse siya di ba sa mga help nga gihatag sa iya.
Yeah. He
But
refused it.
I didn't see I didn't kuan na mention ang name ni LeBron. So mo na
Okay.
akong na-wonder. So
All right.
Di ba
kudos
na-rumor to
to Mark
before na
Cuban.
Delonte West?
Kudos to Mark Cuban. I've heard a lot of stories sa iyang company nga he's really he does care about his employees.
Hmm.
Taas maka or pinakamubo mao na yung nabasahan. So kudos to him. Thank you Mark Cuban for kuan
Yes.
ni sa mga players na. Take care
Before I
niya.
Yeah.
proceed to comment on this, same ta kuya, lain sa tang nasod sa kong una when I saw this. I mean, Mark Cuban, mura ganig, imuha LeBron James kay teammate. Ako ang una kay, ano di man si LeBron nga iya man ning papa. Ang kuan, ang kanang
Di ba?
That's
Di
what I
ba?
was about to say. That's what I was
Delonte
about to
West
say.
dated
Yeah,
his
yeah.
mother for a while.
Katong chismis no, katong chismis nga nako siyang mama
Yeah.
mao siguro dai.
That's what I was
Ay
gonna
karon
say.
ba na
Yeah.
karon ba? Karon pa ako nasingil sa mga sa papa kay dai naka I forgot nga nali to chismis ako na about relationship
ay,
sa
Yeah.
mama dai.
una diretso
Maybe
when I saw this.
mao di
Kaya,
ay. Karon sa ko nakakuan sink in.
ikaw, Jeff, what can you say about this though?
Hey, look. Hey, so touching on what Jerry said, I think now you know why. Why? It's a very slippery slope to be honest with Delonte West and LeBron. But hey, look, this is one of the more heartwarming stories to come out of the NBA. And hats off to Mark Cuban. He doesn't owe Delonte West anything, but he went
True.
out of
Correct.
his way,
Agree.
found
Agree.
Delonte West, reunited him with his mother, and then checked him into a healthcare facility. So again, hats off to Mark Cuban. Good job.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, the next picture that I would wanna show you guys. This is like a trade rumor, but I guess we've talked
Please.
about this in the past or past episode na nas Migyani. And give me your take. Unsay kuan ninyo ani? Unsay inyohang masulti ani nga na picture. There you go. All right, so they're trying to trade Gordon Hayward for Miles Turner or Victor Oladipo. All right.
Oh.
Plus draft picks rather. Forward and draft picks for solo nga Turner or solo nga Oladipo. If you were
Mm.
Boston, who would you prefer to get? Yeah, I'll start with you, Migs.
Yeah. For me, and I'd go with Turner. Okay. Again, no, if you get Oladipo, it's just gonna create more problems. Again, loaded na kayo ang wings for the Celtics. They have who do they have on the wing, diba? It's Kemba, it's Marcus Smart, it's Jason Tatum, it's Jalen Brown. It's currently still Gordon Hayward. So no, if you get Miles Turner, then you'll finally have that
Break.
defensive center that you've needed, di ba?
Sure.
Sometimes we forget na si Daniel Tice, although he's very capable, I love how he plays. I love his hustle. But Daniel Tice is only 6'8", 6'9".
Mm.
So Miles Turner is the legit big man who can run. He's very mobile. He's been working on his outside shot.
You can shoot,
And
yeah.
in a Brad Stevens system, I think that might be a better fit for the Celtics. Now, if you get Oladipo, he's recovering from an injury. You don't know what you're gonna get from him in terms of his quality of play. So, Miles Turner for me.
All right. Ikaw, kuya, who would you rather get for
Same
Gordon?
here. Same here. They're loaded on sa mga guards o ang mga wing. So
Okay.
I really think na ang difference sa series sa Miami and Boston is the big men. Kay Wesley solid nga big man nga capable of kuan jud nga mo puntos. Bisag di lang kay mo puntos, kaya lang solid defense or if kuan makakuha sila is Andre Drummond available. So may nga nga bigs ba nga style. Kay na naman sila yung mga scorer good. If they can get Andre Drummond, much better.
All right. How about you, Brush? Which is a
Hey,
better
look,
fit for
we talked about this in the previous episode. It's definitely a win, sort of win, in the sense that if Boston can pick up Miles Turner, that's a big win for them. I'm not sure exactly how Gordon Hayward being in Indiana would benefit Indiana, but hey, if it works out for them, then great. But this would definitely benefit Boston more than it would Indiana. And if they can pull off this trade, we might be seeing Boston compete again in the Eastern Conference Finals. So, yeah, pull the trigger, get Miles Turner if you can.
All right. All right.
True, true,
So
true.
let's go to the last picture. Okay. Kajutsa, Kajutsa, Kajutsa. Here it is. Here it is. All right. So non-finals related, but give me your take on this. This came from a Hall of Famer. All right.
I think I know Anthony.
Yeah. Kano siya.
I'm
You
not
can
sure.
always
I
Yeah.
love, I love how it loads.
talk
I love how it
about.
loads so that there's like
All right. So if Draymond comes back to be the Draymond of 3 years ago, they will be a pretty good team and contend with anybody in the West. All right. So I'll start with you, Kuya, because you don't like the Warriors. What can you say about Gary Payton's comment on this? About the Warriors' chance next season. So he's stating na murag si Draymond ang barometer if the Warriors gonna be a good team or if they're gonna be a playoff deep team or if they're not gonna make it to the playoffs again. So what do you think about this? Waka, nakamute ka ba?
I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, if Draymond, Clay, and Steph, no, they are healthy next year. I think yeah, they're on the playoffs, a contender actually for the Western Conference Finals, especially if they're gonna be picking the right fit. Nga,
Mhm.
nabi sila sa second draft pick, so hope they can get Edwards because for me it's a really good fit for their systems. You just imagine um, Steph, running the play and wings si Clay or si Anthony Edwards. It would really be a dangerous team, especially in the fast break or transition play. So yeah, they're healthy. I think they're in the I mean Western Conference Finals or semifinals. That's my take.
All right. How about you, Brush? What's your take on this?
let me start off by saying this. I hate the Golden State Warriors. I hate them. I really do. But granted, I gotta praise Draymond here real quick because as much as I hate him, and one of my friends who's watching this podcast right now knows how much I hate him. Every
I-mute na lang din.
team, not maybe every team. A lot of the teams in the NBA are trying to create what the Warriors already are. Either they're trying to create it or they're trying to recreate it. And what I'm saying is they're trying this whole concept of small ball, three ball, outside the paint, that whole system with Golden State. They're trying to do that because it works. And Golden State has been the model franchise, the model team for that system. And every team is basically trying to play catch up and trying to mimic that system. Now, the determining factor for why that works is because the Warriors have Draymond Green. Let me tell you how big of an impact that is and why that statement works. Look at Houston. PJ Tucker is basically trying to be Draymond Green. Didn't work.
Mhm.
Okay?
Cannot
Every other
play make.
NBA team that tries to play small ball, he can't play make. He can't run the floor like Draymond Green. He can't handle the ball
Correct.
like Draymond Green.
Correct.
Okay? All right? The Phoenix Suns of old, they tried to do this. They didn't have a Draymond Green who'd play defense. They didn't have a Draymond Green who could facilitate. It was always the point guard who'd do it. In the Golden State Warriors, this guy is the barometer. Whether I like it or not, I hate him. I really do. Whether I like it or not, I'm giving Draymond his props here. He is one of the most polarizing figures in the NBA, and for good reason. And for the Golden State Warriors, yes, Steph and Clay cannot win it on their own. This guy
Correct.
right here, that guy in the middle, is the reason why they're going to win. And they're going to go deep, deep, deep into the playoffs. And why the Lakers next year, if they run into this team, they will have trouble.
Correct. I agree.
All right, all right,
Maybe perhaps they'll go in the finals. Yeah.
all right. How about you, Mix? What could you say about
Yeah.
Peyton's comment?
Yeah, sometimes we forget no nga kay tungod because they got Kevin Durant. These three guys won themselves a championship in 2015. And sometimes we forget that. So yeah, again, I've been saying this. The Golden State Warriors, they're practically big winners of the 2019-2020 season. They got the draft pick, they got all those assets. Ni-recover ang ilang superstars without having to come back because there's nothing to come back to. And that's true. Draymond Green is the barometer for this team. Ang ako lang niya is that the past few years, he's lost confidence shooting the ball. It came to a point that defenders were really leaving him. They were playing off him.
True.
So he doesn't have to be a 3-point shooter and the same accuracy nilang Curry and Clay. But he just has to shoot it with confidence.
True.
Siguro 37%, that's okay. Because then that's gonna stretch that defense even more. But again, man, Draymond Green 6'5", he can check centers, guards. You don't see that. I hate him. I sports hate him. Sports hate lang. Sports hate. I sports hate him.
Same.
But I love his game.
All right,
I
all
just
right.
remember, brother. I just remember the triple single comment by Barkley. He's now in TNT, so they actually talk about it when he first joined the crew. Yeah.
True.
Interesting na magkasinabot sila ni Charles Barkley. I thought they weren't really on good
I thought they
terms.
hated each other too. Yeah, I thought they hated each other.
It's
funny how they-
in fairness to Draymond Green, his analysis is really
At
good.
that time, Raymond was really pissed off.
Same ni Shaq ni Barkley before. I mean, they hated each other during their playing days, but they're like best buds inside the NBA, right?
And Draymond Green as an analyst though, he's really good. Diba? I mean, you listen to his takes or inside it, he's really good. They're really good takes. They're really deep observations of the game. So goes to show unsa kataas ang iyang IQ sa basketball.
Yes, sir. Pero ako I'll give my take on this because I'm a Laker fan, but slowly over the years I've become a Warrior fan. Probably because I'm a believer of like kanang underdogs. They started out as the underdogs. Pag so good nila. I mean, then again, this team was not bought. This team was built, except when Kevin Durant actually came in. Pero sa ako lang, even if Draymond Green plays half of what his capacity is, or yung katong 2015 nga, because we can't like force him. Kay mura before he has something to prove. Pero karon, he won Defensive Player of the Year. He was an All-Star na. He has a big contract. So most likely, di na gina nato ma-expect siya. If sakto si Miggy, if he shoots 35 to 37% from three, then that would really that would really be a big thing for the Warriors. Okay, pero ang ako lang is regardless unsay pagawas sa Draymond Green sa next season, if Steph and Clay are gonna be healthy, all right, then you put in like the second pick or whoever they trade the second pick for. That would be it. That would really be like a playoff team.
Legit number 4 or number 5 seed right here. Number 4 or number
Brother,
5.
Yes.
you're talking about 36, 37% 3 points field goal percentage. That's high, huh? Taas ko kayo mag happiness 40.
Oh,
Draymond Green.
probably butang ka lang 33, 35.
Yeah, 33.
Nadiha nga percentage.
In short,
That would really be
yeah, I
a
mean, if
good.
Draymond can shoot the ball again, yeah, that would be, you're
Pero
you're
diba,
spacing the floor again.
shooting it with confidence lang ba at least? Yes,
True.
at least
Yeah.
shoot the ball. Yeah.
Exactly. But then again, with that being said, they're gonna be a good team, pero they're gonna be champs if Giannis is gonna be there or if Embiid's gonna be there. I'm pretty sure.
Oh my God.
They will be. They will be.
No.
Make that move. They'll make that
Bad.
move. Guys.
That's
They'll make
bad.
that move next season. They'll come October 13th. Tanawa na nila. I'm
I
pretty
doubt.
sure.
I doubt. But let's see, October 13. I'll mark you on that brush.
Nalang ko i-insert day usa lang kabuok na picture. All right. I actually kanang mga app yun sa Facebook. I would want you to give me your take on this. All right. This is when I did it first try. Kanang murag duwa good sa Facebook. So kaya lang ko inyong opinion on this. I hated it. I did post it. That's a picture.
Kulbaan lagi ko. Why does it take so long for my computer to load it? Oh, here we go.
Huh?
Now loading. Anybody sees it? I can't see it.
Are you seeing
What is
it?
No,
Did
no,
you see
no,
it?
no.
Oh,
Not yet.
kita.
Wala.
Yeah, I see it.
Lies! Lies, but hey. To all the viewers,
sexual.
listen, hey, to all the
Grown
viewers, to all the listeners, do not forget, please do not forget that Mark made a promise to wear a Lakers number 23 jersey one
Yeah.
to this show. Do not forget. Mark that. I gotta be at the guy yan ng jersey good.
I ordered it, man. I ordered it. I think it's gonna be here this week. So hopefully.
Awesome.
Hopefully.
Awesome. All right. Hey.
So kana siya.
Facebook's telling you something. Facebook's telling you something.
I guess kung ano na siya. I mean, your kanang expressions and yung mga naong says it all. Like I was really like pissed off when I actually saw this first time. So, good. First take na ko libron gid ay makayatan ngay mura man nanungog yapon. All right? So
Yeah.
guys, that would be
Katong
us.
picture na akong isend sa group chat kato.
Atay ka.
About ipakita sa viewers.
Wala man, wala na nako masay.
Na, ako send balik. Send ako balik.
No, it's gonna take time to load sa right? So, guys, we've already reached like an hour 30. So that would be us for tonight. All right. Thank you so much for supporting Cebuano Hoops Live. We were just testing how this would be kung we talk about the PBA, and actually this is like the most negative nga episode nato good so far. But tomorrow is gonna be game 1. All right, we're excited for it. 9 a.m. game 1
Finally.
time. So we're gonna watch it and then tune in 8:30 p.m. All right, let's just make it 8:30. Let's not make it like 8. Let's make it 8:30. We're gonna be back here. We're gonna talk about game 1, and we're gonna like give you guys our opinion towards what we saw happen in game one. So I'm hoping it would be an upset, right? But I'm pretty sure Jaff, Miggy, and Kuya, Kuya's rooting for the Miami Heat. But these two guys below, all right, on your screen, these are like rooting for the Lakers, all right? So 50-50 meron. Kami na address taas, Miami, sila na Zobos.
Let me tell you something. I'll give you a hot
all right.
take. Hey, look, the
Yes.
Lakers strong favorite to win, but I have a really weird feeling Miami might take it game one. Let's see. I have a weird
All right.
feeling that
Knowing
Miami
the
might take it.
Lakers, I wouldn't be surprised.
All right. Okay, so guys, just a reminder, we're gonna have this giveaway for upcoming days. So there would be like two winners for the
Hey!
final shirt and two winners for the Eastern Conference final shirt. Right. So stay tuned for the mechanics. I guess we're gonna do this I'm gonna post it one of these days. So, Kuya, anybody you want to greet before we end the night?
All right, thank you everyone. Shout out to Charles Michael Omeres and Eric Brian Omeres, my brothers. And yeah, this is King Jeremy or Jerry Buckets. I call it as I saw it. No hate, just facts.
All right.
Hi guys.
All right. How about you, Jeff? Anybody you'd want to greet, though?
Shout out to all the fans watching Cebuano Hoops Live. Again, this is your hottest take for anything basketball related from 8:30 onwards. You guys know where to go. You guys know where to be. Shout out to everybody in Cebu or Moc, Iloilo, Manila, wherever you may be. Mad love to everybody and keep tuning in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How about you, Migs? Anybody you want to greet?
Right, no, shout out again to Aika. Aika. Shout out to my parents listening right next in the next room. To everyone in Cebu, Nivell Hills, Espina Village, Iloilo, to all the Ormocanons. Guys, I hope you get to come home. And I know we mentioned it earlier. I just want to give because it's a big thing for me. Guys, take care of your mental health. No, if you want to talk to someone, talk to a professional. If you're having a bad day, call a friend. Watch some basketball. And 8:30 in the evening, Cebuano Hoops Live. Tune in. No, this is a family show. Bring your kids. See you guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So for me, just would want to greet like the people in the office. All right. I'm pretty sure they're tuning in. All right. So jumping, hindi siya mag-ilis. We're not going to work tonight. All right. Okay. Prepare ko para finals tomorrow. All right. So guys, I'll see you tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. All right. But let's watch the finals 9 a.m. All right. Philippine time. Let's watch it together. And good night. Stay safe. And salamat sa support. Good night, guys.
Good night, guys. See you tomorrow.
All right.